Migraine by Barbara Schmitz. It comes in deepest dark, riding a nightmare. You wake yelping, you think from your fear, but discover this distress is caused by pain. The migraine descends, an unwished-for gift, like a not very pleasant prediction from a fortune-telling gypsy. Pleading for it to depart never works. Better to invoke blessing, welcome the unbidden guest. It'll get worse before it gets better. Then finally, as Emily was wise enough to foresee, after great pain, a formal feeling comes. When relief blossoms so sweet, so unassuming, you wonder why the rest of humanity isn't spinning in ecstasy for the opportunity to feel like this. Just ordinary. I first read the poem because I was curious about the simple title, and I reread it to discover the deeper meaning of her pain and desire through her words. Schmitz's work appeals to me because when I think of poetry, I think of serious, intense topics with deep meaning, and I found it interesting that the poet chose to write about migraines. Not only does the poem get those who are reading it to understand the poet's pain, but it also helps those who read it to put themselves into the situation and relate to it. For personal reasons, the poem relates to me because less than a year ago, I had gotten a concussion during volleyball season and suffered from multiple migraines for months at a time. Many portions of the poem are similar to my personal experience with migraines. As the poet describes, pleading for it to depart never works. Better to invoke blessing, welcome the unbidden guest. It'll get worse before it gets better. Schmidt's words within these lines reminded me of when I struggled with schoolwork and trying to focus despite my constant headaches. And the more that I would try to focus, the worse my headache would be. It is also relatable that in the last 5 lines, Schmidt states, when relief blossoms so sweet, so unassuming, you wonder why the rest of humanity isn't spinning in ecstasy for the opportunity to feel like this, just ordinary. This is relatable because it shows the poet's desire to feel better, and when I suffered, I felt the same way. The purpose of the poem is to not only describe her pain and desire to be ordinary, but it also describes the dreadfulness of such pain. As Schmitz wrote, the migraine descends, an unwished-for gift, like a not very pleasant prediction from a fortune-telling gypsy. Overall, it is easy to understand Schmidt's thoughts and struggles through her words throughout the poem. As when I had suffered, I began to realize how grateful the world should be to be ordinary and be able to do everyday tasks and be healthy.